ever seen a look on someone's face that looks like their entire world collapsed in a single second? Today, we're uncovering the heartbreaking secret behind Taehyung's hollow gaze, captured on camera the exact moment he saw Jungkook and Jimin together. Hello, K-pop lovers! Welcome back to Taekook Diary, our special place to share warm moments, intriguing stories, and those sweet interactions between Taehyung and Jungkook that always make ARMY smile. The K-pop world was recently shaken by a short video clip that went viral across social media platforms, from TikTok to Twitter. In this footage, we see Kim Taehyung, who is usually so vibrant and full of energy, suddenly freezing with an expression that is incredibly difficult to put into words. Many ARMYs noticed that something felt deeply wrong that night. Taehyung was seen standing in the corner of the stage, his gaze fixed intensely on a single point in the distance. The silence surrounding him felt so heavy, standing in sharp contrast to the roar of the stadium filled with thousands of fans screaming in excitement. What actually happened to the man often called the most handsome man in the world? Why did he look so empty in the middle of a celebratory victory that should have been joyful? We all know Taehyung is a deeply expressive person, but this time, he looked as though he was hiding a very profound wound. If we look closer at where Taehyung's eyes were directed, the camera caught a moment where Jungkook and Jimin were sharing a very close, laughing interaction on the other side of the stage. Their togetherness, which might usually be seen as a normal friendship interaction, felt like it carried a different meaning for anyone watching Taehyung's reaction. There was a long pause where Taehyung didn't blink at all, as if time had stopped moving the very moment he witnessed their closeness. Curiosity began to cloud the minds of fans watching the event live. Was this just a coincidence, or was there a hidden feeling that finally bubbled to the surface? The atmosphere around Taehyung turned incredibly melancholic, making anyone who saw him feel a tightness in their chest. We were invited into a complex labyrinth of emotions, where only Taehyung himself knew the real answer to what was breaking his heart so visibly in that moment. Speculation began to swirl regarding Taehyung's mental and emotional state at that time. Some sources suggested he was going through a difficult personal period but was trying his best to remain professional for the cameras. However, for ARMYs who have followed the Taekook journey for years, they knew that a gaze like that wasn't ordinary. It was the look of someone feeling sidelined from the circle he cherishes most. We often see how Taehyung and Jungkook have been pillars of strength for one another, so, seeing Taehyung standing alone with a vacant stare while Jungkook appeared so happy with someone else created a painful narrative for fans. This isn't just about simple jealousy, it's about the fear of losing a connection that has been built with so much effort under the immense pressure of a cruel and exhausting industry. It's a fear that resonates deeply within our community whenever we see them drift apart. Rumors suggest the heartbreaking reason behind Taehyung's expression relates to a deep conversation that happened behind the scenes before the concert began. Word on the street is that a small misunderstanding occurred between them that hadn't been resolved. For Taehyung, emotional connection is everything. He is the type of person who needs reassurance and closeness, both physically and mentally. When he saw Jungkook, the person he trusts most, appearing distant or giving more attention to another member, it seemed to break his strongest defense. We can feel his heart crumbling into pieces right then and there. Taehyung's visuals, usually like a beautiful painting, turned into a raw portrait of sadness. He tried to smile for the camera a few times, but his eyes couldn't lie. There were tears seemingly held back in his eyes, telling 1,000 words he couldn't speak out loud to the vast world watching his every move. The emotional tension reached its peak when a ballad began to play throughout the stadium. In the darkness of the stage, lit only by the glowing ARMY bombs, Taehyung seemed to sink deeper into his own thoughts. He no longer tried to hide his empty gaze. On the other side, Jungkook, who began to notice his older brother's change in mood, glanced toward Taehyung several times with a look of hidden worry. However, the distance between them that night felt much further than usual. It wasn't just the physical distance on the massive stage, but an emotional gap created by unspoken ego and hurt feelings. Fans in the front row reported that Taehyung took several long, deep breaths as if he were carrying the weight of the entire world on his shoulders. This became one of the most emotional moments in their concert history, leaving many unanswered questions hanging in the air like a heavy mist that refused to clear up for the rest of the night. Why would seeing Jungkook with Jimin have such a massive impact on Taehyung? We have to understand the unique dynamics of their relationship. To Taehyung, Jungkook isn't just a group mate, he's a soulmate who understands every inch of his personality. Jimin, as a close friend to both, certainly had no bad intentions. However, in an unstable emotional state, Taehyung's perception became very subjective. He felt as if his position in Jungkook's heart was being threatened. This pain stems from a love that is simply too large to contain. We often call this the human side of an idol. They also feel fear, jealousy, and sadness just like we do. That empty look was Taehyung's way of protecting himself so he wouldn't break down in tears in front of thousands of people. He chose to shut down and become hollow rather than show a vulnerability that might be misinterpreted by the public in a way that he wasn't ready to handle. As the viral video continues, we see a moment where Taehyung finally tries to walk toward Jungkook. There was a visible hesitation in every step, as if he was afraid of being rejected or ignored. However, before he could reach him, the stage lights dimmed and the song segment ended. ARMY's hope to see them have a sweet interaction was once again delayed. This is what makes our hearts feel so torn. We want to scream and tell Taehyung that everything will be okay, and that his love for Jungkook will never be in vain, but the reality is, we are just spectators to this incredibly complex real-life drama. Taehyung's world might have felt like it was collapsing that night, but we all know how strong he is. He will always find a way back to the arms of the one he loves, even if he has to pass through a violent emotional storm. This story teaches us the true meaning of loyalty and honesty in a relationship we care about. So, what do you think, ARMY? Did you also feel a deep sadness seeing Taehyung's empty gaze that night? Or maybe you have another theory about what actually happened behind the scenes on that stage? Write your thoughts and support in the comments below, because every ARMY's opinion means so much to us. Don't forget to hit the like button if this video touched your heart, and share this video with other ARMY friends so we can support each other. Also, make sure you've subscribed and turned on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest updates from Taekook Diary. Thank you for watching and for always supporting the happiness of Taehyung and Jungkook. See you in the next video, keep spreading love, and Taekook forever. Let's all pray that Taehyung's beautiful smile returns to us very soon, because that is what we all want to see more than anything else.